What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Ashley. For those who are new here, hello and welcome. And for all of my returning subscribers, hey. So today, what? I'm talking to my audience. Yeah. So today we are officially starting seeds. So I wanted to show you guys how I get everything set up. If you guys have not been, or if you guys have been here before, I apologize because this is going to be very repetitive. I am going to be walking through everything that I do to get things set up to start my seeds, from what I use, seed starting medium, to tools, etc. So this is going to sound repetitive from previous years, but this is for any new beginner gardeners. I apologize for the noise in advance. I have a 4-year-old that is just can't stay away from me, so it is what it is. Anyways, so let's go ahead and just dive head first, because I want to make this as, like, you know, forward as possible. So in my previous video, I have already gone through how I organize my seeds. So I make sure that I have these handy, organized, ready to go. So if that's something that you're interested in, look at that previous video, because I go through on what I use to store my seeds and how I organize them to make it easier for me to just grab and start. But in short, I like to use these photo saving envelopes, which you can pick these up from like a Joann Fabrics or like Michael's. Yeah. And they fit, you know, seed packets perfectly. So what I do is I grab what I need. So that is. My tongue. What's the matter? Oh, go get some water. Go get some water. I have that right by my side. So boom, that is that. And then let's start with soil medium. So typically I am a pro mix girly. That is what I have used now for the past maybe 4 or 5 years. However, I wanted to try using something that was a little bit easier accessible and something that I can just run to the store and grab rather than having to go out to a nursery and grab, because it's just easier and it's easier to, you know, share with you guys. So I picked up the Burpees Natural and Organic Seed Starting Mix. This is a blend of cocoa made with cocoa core, no peat moss. Let me see, what else does it have in it? Let me see here. Like I said, this is my first time using this, so I'm like completely unfamiliar. Does it say? Not really. So it does have a little bit of fertilizer in it, so that's good. But in addition to this, I will still add in some worm castings. I always add in just a little bit of my own fertilizer just to make sure that I'm getting adequate feedings for my seedlings. And then from there, that gives them the initial boost and then the long-term boost. And then I will also do like a liquid feeding like every other week until I either up pot them or put them out. So that is what I will be using as far as medium. And I typically like to put it in a tub. This is the tub of choice. I've had this thing forever and she's held me down, makes it very easy. And then this is my second year using the Bootstrap Farmer. I forget what this exact kit was, but basically I'm using the 6-cell trays. They have like these easy holes in the bottom, so when you go to up pot, you can just pop them out from the bottom. Really, really love that feature. And it also has like some slits on the bottom for some air pruning, so the roots don't get all tangled and, you know, wound up. It's really nice. They are extremely sturdy. Like, I left a lot of these outside last year and none of them faded. None of them got tore up, beat up. To clean them, I actually gave them all a soaking bath in just some bleach water and gave them a good rinse and laid them out to dry, and everybody's like new. So to start, and then also, I mean, this may be helpful to you, but it may not be. I love using this little tool. These kind of tools usually come in like a cell tray.
It's a little shovel.
Yeah, it's like a baby shovel. It usually comes in like a cell tray kit, like one of the ones that I ordered off of Amazon.
It's a big shovel.
I'm sure you can probably find these like singularly on Amazon, but I like using these, especially like if you have nails or you don't want to get your hands too dirty. Like, you can use like the little scooper to, like, you know, scoop up your seeds and, like, you know, drop them in the soil, and then you can use this little fork situation to, like, you know, move the soil around, which, again, just an additional tool. And then this little tarp thing, I actually got it off of Temu. I'm sure you can find something similar, you know, on Amazon, but it just has these little snaps here. That way everything is like gathered. You can see I'm sitting at my dining room table, so I don't want to make a mess. So that is what we have here set up so far. I think that kind of touches all of our bases. When you mix up your soil, you want to make sure that it is nice and moist, and I will show you that right now, actually. So the goal is to get it to hold together in your hands, but for it to fall apart, kind of like brownie mix.
Yeah, this is so good.
Could probably be a little bit more moist, but I'm also going to moisten it once I put it in the cell trays as well. So at this point, I need to go on ahead and fill up my trays. So.
Yuck! The dirt. It's dirt. I'm sorry.
All right, so now that we have our trays filled, the next thing that I like to focus on is labeling everything. You want to make sure that you keep track of your labels. Hey. Because I cannot tell you how many times I have started some seeds and then somewhere along the way I've mixed things up and like mislabeled, etc., etc. Like, I want to say, was it last year? Yeah, it was last year. I ended up with nothing but like cherry tomatoes, all red cherry tomatoes, and it was because of mislabeling. So don't be like me and make sure that you label your things properly. Like I said, I already kind of went over all of the things that I was starting in my last video, but there were a few things that I forgot about because I could not find the box. So there were a few more onions that I did not share with you guys because I want to try some different onion varieties. So I have some shallots, the Zabroon shallots, sweet Spanish, yellow Spanish Utah. And then I also have a Gladstone onion, and then I also have some leeks. I'm doing the King Richard leeks, which I did share with you guys that's what we were doing. And then we also have some artichokes, some endives. We're doing some cabbages, some broccoli, some Brussels sprouts, eggplant, celery, and our bunching onions and Walla Walla. So that's everything that we're doing today. So let's go ahead, label those, get everything prepared, and then plant all of these lovely, lovely seeds. Alrighty, so now that we've got everything labeled, the rule of thumb when you are sowing your seeds, so in the case of most brassicas, which brassicas are mostly cool weather crops, so your broccolis, your cabbages, everything that's like in the cabbage family. So that will be your broccolis, your Brussels, cabbages, etc. These seeds are pretty small and round. Let me see if I can come on down. So you can see they're pretty small. So in these cases, you want to plant these pretty shallow. These are the broccoli seeds, and this is the Watham 29. I am going to sow about 2 per cell, and I'm only sowing 3 of these. I don't have a ton of space in my garden, so I'm not growing just a ton of each variety. I am trying to be reasonable in my seed starting efforts. So again, just 2 or 3 in each cell will do. Some of these seeds are a little bit older, so you just want to make sure that you leave a little bit of wiggle room for some crappy germination. And again, you want to sow these as deep as they are thick. So in this case, these will be pretty shallow, and obviously the bigger the seed, the deeper it goes, is rule of thumb. You want to go as deep as it is thick. And obviously you want to get full contact with the soil. You want to make sure that you cover it completely, and then also always bottom water at first and make sure you have full moisture. I forgot to bring up my dome. So after everything is sown, which I guess I'll just show you at the end. So the only other thing to note, let me just fast forward to that part. As for my onions and leeks and things, I will sow these much thicker because these don't mind being teased apart. Now I will still keep these in clumps of 3s because I want to try out the bunching method. What's his name? Ooh. Oh my gosh. Charles Downing. He typically grows his onions, beets, leeks in bunches of 3s and basically just plucks out the larger of the 3 and allows the other 2 to grow to like fuller maturity, and that way it saves a lot of space. I really want to try that method this year. So again, I'm going to sow those much thicker. So in this case, I have my leeks, which again is the King Richard variety. And I'll just show you guys. I'm still using the 6 cell method. Some people use like just a full tray where it's just like full of soil and then they'll tease out. However, I'm pretty much going to do the same kind of thing. So I'm just going to lay the seeds on top of the soil because these seeds, let me show you, they're still kind of round, but they're a little bit more on the flat side, if you guys can get a good view of that. So what I like to do with these seeds is I like to place them on top of the soil and then just tease them into that top layer and then give them a good watering. So I'm probably putting about 10 seeds in each cell. And then again, with my little handy dandy tool, I'm just teasing them so they are in the soil. And sometimes I'll even put an extra layer of soil on top, like just to make sure that they are fully covered. I've seen some people use, what is it called? Vermiculite to cover the top. I've tried that in the past. I feel like, I don't know, to each their own. Like, I feel like everybody has their own method of how they like to garden. For me, it was just an unnecessary step. So again, I tease that top layer of soil just to make sure everybody's in there. Press it on top. And in this case, I think I do want to go on ahead and just take a sprinkling and then just make sure everybody is nice and covered, smothered, and tucked in. So that is how I do my onion seeds. Now, like I said, I don't always have good success. So tell me if I'm doing something wrong. Like, I always get germination, but I don't always get full growth. I've done good with leeks. Leeks, I feel like, are no-brainers. Like, for dummies, like, leeks are absolutely amazing. However, when it comes to onions, there is something that is not connecting with me. Let me know if I'm doing something wrong. However, I'm going to go on ahead, finish up my sowing here. And like I said, I will show you guys the next steps. All right, y'all. So now we down. We down to the basement. This is where my little rack will live for right now. We're still in the process of finishing everything. So I don't know that this will stay here, but this is where it is right now. So I am going to put my moisture dome over this. First, I need to bottom water. I didn't want to water while I was upstairs still because that would just be stupid. But I will be bottom watering these guys until because that's what this lovely contraption is made for. So we want to make sure that these guys get a good drink so they have a fighting chance at getting a good start, getting good germination. So I'm going to fill this up quite a bit, actually. Put all of that in there. And this could probably use good dusting, but it'll be alright. So this actually goes on top. I'm going to close these for now. Most of these seeds don't need light to germinate, so I'm not going to worry about actually starting up all my lights, but typically I have everything set up on a timing system I just have to figure out everything. So I'm a little, it's a toss up still between whether or not I want to use this system. This system last year, it was a good makeshift, but to be honest, my previous thing worked out much better because I was able to lower the lights onto the seedlings much easier than this situation. Obviously, this is not as long as the actual lights that I have now are. And I really like the length of these because it fits 2 full tray lengths perfectly. So I don't know. I'm considering going back to my old system, which I do still have, but because everything is kind of at disarray in my basement right now, I don't know. So this is all set up. So that is it for our first seed starting venture. If you guys want to continue watching, I feel like all my boobies are out. You see, we got a lot going on down here. Anyways. But yeah, if you guys want to continue following the journey, definitely make sure that you go on ahead and subscribe to the channel. Let me position myself. Yeah, going ahead and continue following the journey. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I need to share. We did the dome. We watered in. Oh, so one of the most important things, obviously not the average person will be doing like video vlogs or video journals to keep track of everything like I am for you guys. But in my last video, I shared with you guys, I like to keep a notebook, calendar, whatever may have you. I keep a notebook, but if you just have a simple calendar, writing down everything as you start it or when you need to start it is super helpful. So I will just jot down all of the varieties that I started today in my handy dandy notebook. That way I know the date for sure when I started all of this stuff. And that way I just have good notes for next year. I like to do that for myself. That way I can see how things progress in the future. Like if my starting is on point as far as like getting things to full maturity, etc. Yeah, so that is the final thing. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure that you go on ahead, stick around on the channel. Hit this with a thumbs up. I'd love for you guys to stick around. And until the next one, I wish you all health, wealth, and prosperity. Peace out.